Hello Dreamers! Welcome to the May Pick-a-Pile reading. Today we're going to be doing some interesting stuff with this reading. I'm going to be doing some pen scrying, and for those of you who don't know what that is basically I take a piece of paper and I do a little intuitive scribble, and then I can derive pictures and messages off of the scribble. But before we go in and start today's Pick-a-Pile reading, I just have some announcements to make on behalf of me and my stream. Some of you may have seen it already, some of you may have not have seen it already, which is okay. But I just wanted to go more in depth about my hiatus. There's some very interesting changes that are happening in my life right now. I'm planning to be moving in May. Hopefully things are looking a little bit rocky, so it might be later. I'm not sure yet. And some health concerns have come up. And don't worry, I'm not dying. I am okay. I am not in crisis. I'm good. There's just been some concerns that have come up that need my attention and that I need to deal with. So in order to do that, I've been taking a hiatus in order to make sure that I am at my most optimum health that I can be, and working towards the longevity of making sure that I am a functioning human being. And then meshed with that, I'm also in preparations for my move to America. So it's been a bit of a hectic time, and things have great timing in my life as per usual. And so my schedule is packed. So I'm not sure when I'm going to be starting streaming again. It won't be a super long hiatus. I'll be back momentarily, just taking some time for myself. But that doesn't mean that I'm unavailable in other places, such as at my Ko-Fi shop. I am currently open and taking commissions of art to VTubers, PNG tubers, you name it. I also do cross-stitch patterns and physical cross-stitchings. And if you want to see my work, or if any of that interests you, hop on over to my Ko-Fi. But anywho, let's get into the May predictions. Today, I'm going to be using the Wheel of the Year Tarot, the Earth Alchemy Oracle, and the Archangel Oracle. Alright, I have pre-selected all of the piles. I have not read them. I don't know what cards these hold. To identify the piles, we have 4 crystals. For pile number 1, we have Desert Rose, and for pile number 2, we have Fairy Stone, also known as Goddess Stone. And for pile number 3, we have Citrine. And for pile number 4, we have Honey Calcite. If you wish to pause and meditate on your piles, you may do so, and I will see you at your piles. Hello, pile number 1. So before we get into your cards, we're going to start with your pen scrying. As I explained before, I will do a little intuitive doodle onto the paper, and we'll derive some messages from that, and then after we decode those messages, we will dive right into your cards for the specifics. Okay. So first things first, I kind of see a figure pondering in deep thought, thinking about something deeply. Perhaps a passion. I see some very spiky elements here, and so I feel there's a lot of element of fire, which leads me to that idea of passion. Creating anew for yourself. I see an S and an E. It could be your name or the name of someone that you know or someone that you meet. I also can interpret this as saying sexy. Maybe like you were discovering more of yourself or forming new ideas and opinions of yourself that revolve around complimenting the self or feeling more confident and more empowered in yourself. I also see like a hammerhead shark, and hammerhead sharks are very known for their hammer-like head because of the way that their head is shaped and the way that their eyes are formed. They have full 360 vision. I don't know if it's 360, but they have a very wide vision, and so they're able to see from a lot of different perspectives. And this kind of notions to me that in May, pile 1, you could be experiencing new perspectives, shifting your own perspective, or looking at things from a broader point of view. I also see you kind of feeling a bit tired, or just not necessarily dread, but resistance to needing to keep up and keep going along in order to progress. But it's not like a deep, like, oh, I hate that I have to do this. It's more like a, here we go again. It's kind of playful in a way, and you're being called to continue using that playful kind of state of mind towards your challenges, because it'll help you through them significantly. I'm also seeing squids. I'm not 100% sure what squids mean, but I have a animal guidebook that I will delve into. Okay, there isn't a page for squid, but there is a page for octopus, and because of they're from the same kind of family, I'll count that. It says, explore the possibility of somehow working with those who are transitioning into the spirit world. It's time to take those yoga classes you've been thinking about to help your body become more flexible. Get a thorough physical, ideally from an MD who practices integrative medicine, paying particular attention to your heart and lungs. Use your mental agility to get whatever it is you're seeking, and be surreptitious. Okay, I've never seen that word before. And guarded about your objective as you pursue it. You'll soon find your clairvoyant sensitivities and abilities increasing, while simultaneously you'll notice that your hearing requires extra attention. Yeah, it mentions hearing and listening. This could tie into that idea of taking on new perspectives and shifting the way that you think or the way that you go about achieving your goals. And even in this rotation, I can still make out the word sexy still. I see talking. There's more emphasis in humor and communication. Maybe you could learn something from a comedian or someone in your life who has a rather, childlike, funny charm to them. It's also beneficial for you to, again, laugh and have humor during the things that you experience. Humor is your power. Maybe I see you either sitting watching TV or playing video games and having fun and communicating with others. Through the media that you digest, you'll receive messages and inclinations that are like, that's weird that show or that piece of media said that, because that relates a lot to my situation. And you'll just experience things like that through May as well. So make sure that you're really paying attention to the people that you talk to in the media that you get exposed to, because there's going to be weird and ironic hints in there that's going to be very relevant for you. I see Yar, like Yar-har, like a pirate, Y-A-R. Maybe there's something to do with, it's like saying yes, but it's like, again, it has that playful air to it, that air of adventure. I also see an M over here, a very fancy looking M, MS. I did mention health earlier in the octopus page. You could be someone who has MS or some sort of chronic illness that you're dealing with. It also can be interpreted as MJ. Maybe you need to listen to some Michael Jackson, or you know someone with the initials MJ or someone with the initials MS. Whatever that correlates with for you is also going to be important, so make sure that you pay attention to those acronyms. I see like a potion or a vial of some kind. It's about that creation. I can also see it as like a chili pepper. Maybe I feel like you're someone that is into a lot of music from like the 80s. Because we got Michael Jackson, Red Hot Chili Peppers. You may really like those bands, or those bands were very prevalent for you growing up. I also see like a drawing of a penis here. I feel like you're a very like silly, non-serious person at most times. Humor keeps coming up, and as well as music, and passions, and thinking and pondering and communication. Maybe you were the type in school to like draw penises and stuff in your textbooks. I also see like some sort of goose or duck right here. I'm feeling also loon. I'm gonna see if there's a loon in the animal book. Okay, so there's two birds I found, the loon and also a grebe. I've never heard of that, but I feel also called to read that one, so I'll read both. Do regular exercises that strengthen your muscles, bones, and joints, and especially your legs and feet. Dream work, journaling, or meditation will be beneficial for you in helping you explore your subconscious, which will in turn help you understand yourself better. Be especially tender and nourishing with your throat chakra at this time, yes, with the communication. Pay particular attention to vivid and dynamic dreams, such as those that stay with you through the day. These are powerful messages and teachings. Yeah, I mean, typically when I'm doing pen scrying, they are typically very random, and they have random images, but the amount of randomness that this holds definitely does remind me of dreams. If you're a vivid dreamer, pile number 1, definitely pay attention to your dreams and use it as communication as well, and fire for your passions. And speaking of passions, we have grebe. Go ahead and follow your urge to create an artistic piece for the pure joy of expressing rather than impressing. Immerse yourself in a creative project, but be sure to come up for air for time to time. Your dreams will be more vivid, and perhaps you'll even do some lucid dreaming, so be sure to record these in a dream journal. Your psychic and intuitive powers are on the increase, so be receptive to visitations and messages from your helping spirits. Be confident that whenever you're having strong feelings, you'll be able to manage them. Yeah, you're a deep feeler, which is, again, another reason why humor is your superpower, because, you know, I too am one of those people where it's like, if I don't laugh, I'll cry. And so using humor as a coping mechanism as well as to empower yourself is excellent. And speaking of intuitive powers and communications and dreams, Desert Rose is excellent for that. Excellent for anything to do with the mind, intellect, and thought patterns. It helps kind of dissolve any thought patterns that aren't of use to you anymore, that aren't serving you, and helps create new ones. It helps with creativity, ideas, making advancements, planning, and communicating with others, and other types of intuitive communication as well. With that being said, we will look at your cards. We have the Two of Swords. Let me move out of the way so you can see. Okay. There's like a chestnut. And then we have the Queen of Pentacles. The Queen. Princess of Swords. Blue Kyanite and Honeysuckle, Sword of Truth. Freedom, Warrior of Light. Stop holding yourself back. And we have Prosperity, Archangel Ariel. Your material needs are provided as you follow your intuition and manifest your dreams into reality. Holy crap, the message of dreams again. Okay, so starting with the Two of Swords, it's representing your challenge this month in May, pile number 1. Your challenge very much is, again, connected to your intellect and the way that you use your mind in order to navigate your way through conflicts, challenges, and other situations. Here, it's kind of, again, it's kind of comedic because these two gentlemen are in a battle against each other. One of the guys is a little bit more serious, one of them is a little bit more nonchalant and carefree. But what they don't recognize is during their battle of, I assume, to get this chestnut, they found themselves in a bit of a predicament that they don't quite realize. The mouth of a plant that could very much gobble them up if they do not start paying attention. And they're so caught up in the current situation of the conflict or whatever it is that's going on that they don't notice where it exactly is they're standing. And this speaks to the challenge for you, pile number 1, of you needing to, again, with the hammerhead, having a broader perspective on your situation so that you can navigate it with more conscious decision making. If you're too wound up in the situations that you're currently dealing with, or too wound up in the tiny details of the things that you're dealing with, you'll lose sight of where you're standing and what you can actually do about the situation. And that's what you're being challenged to navigate this month. Then with the positive influence, we have the Queen of Pentacles. There's no doubt in anybody's mind that you're very smart. There's so many themes of intellect and intuition all throughout this reading. And that doesn't stop with the Queen of Pentacles, because the Queen of Pentacles is someone that's not only witty, but someone who is very good at maintaining stability, whether that be material stability or stability within themselves, confidence within themselves, and continuing to build on that and to save resources, to save energy for yourself. So it's reminding you, by the way, you have everything you need and you have the skills to maneuver these situations. You just have to remain focused. That's the hard part. Focused on the things that are going to aid you and help you during this time. Then with the negative influence, we have the Princess of Swords. Again, we're talking about focus and using the intellect and using it for the right reasons. You see how she has a telescope. She's looking far ahead. And it's great to have dreams and aspirations. It's great to plan ahead in order to make things go smoothly as possible. But again, she doesn't see that her situation at hand. She's on the edge of the palace. Any wrong move and she could slip and fall right off. There needs to be more of a balance in your life, pile number 1, of you seeing things more on the outside perspective and looking around you at your immediate surroundings, because that's going to help you much more than all of your focus on the small details of the situation or looking and planning into the future a lot. Then we have Blue Kyanite and Honeysuckle representing the opportunities that you need to take this month, pile number 1. You need to enact on your freedom to choose, your freedom to act as you wish, and your freedom to attain and to go for any goal that you see fit for yourself. You don't need to hold yourself to a certain standard. You don't need to make everything so strict on yourself in order to make sure that everything falls into place and falls into the plan that you've orchestrated. Again, we already talked about how you're very smart, you're very intuitive, you know what you're doing the majority of the time, and you're very focused. But again, the thing that's the challenge is that focus needs to be divvied up in other areas in order to remain balanced and beneficial for your situation. You may struggle with perfectionism, or you have a certain rule set that you follow within yourself whenever you try to achieve something or when you're dealing with certain situations. And this card is basically saying that those rules and regulations that you place upon yourself are no longer of benefit to you, and you need to craft new ways and new perspectives in order to navigate your situation. And then, last but not least, prosperity, representing what you need to take time for this month. Archangel Uriel, your material needs are provided as you follow your intuition and manifest your dreams into reality. Really take time to sit and to ponder and to dream big. If your dreams and your aspirations aren't making you excited and full of life, you're not dreaming big enough. You need to dream bigger. And again, this kind of falls into that, like, oh, I'm capable of this, this, and this. These are the set of rules that I need to follow in order to be prosperous, in order to be successful. No. No more of that. You are capable of so much more, and you're putting limits on yourself based off of what you've been taught, which is great. Information is fantastic, experience is fantastic. But again, your horizons are broadening, and you need to broaden your mind and broaden your ideas along with it. So definitely take time to listen deeply to your intuition and remember who you are, and remember just how capable you are of creating that stability, of creating that prosperity and success for yourself, because you've done it numerous times. And you need to take that talent and put it into something that you truly are passionate about, that you truly care about. And that was your reading today, pile number 1. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope this resonated with you. And I hope your May is amazing. I'll see you in the next one. Hello, welcome pile number 2. Before we get started into your cards, I'll be doing a scribble. I call them scribble readings or pen scrying readings. Basically, I'm going to scribble and derive some messages from the scribbles before we get into your cards about your May. While I was scribbling, 2 songs appeared in my mind. I heard some songs from Swan Lake, as well as Two Door Cinema Club, What You Know. So you might want to look up those songs and maybe listen to them. In the song What You Know, let's get into the scribbles. I see a creature of sorts, kind of bird-like, but not quite, kind of like a gremlin or an imp of sorts. Could be battling either some inner demons, or you've been dealing with either hostile or people who don't necessarily have the best intentions towards you. And I don't feel that you aren't aware of this. This is something that you're aware of. Something that you know that you're dealing with. I see music notes, specifically I forget what the symbol's called, but the swirly one in the beginning of music sheets. Either you could be musically inclined, you like listening to music, you like writing music, you like piano, something like that. And if it's not the case for you, then it speaks of a message of a song that needs to be heard from you, something that you create, a message that you put out there, a piece of creativity or a piece of a message that you need to share. I also see an elephant. It's kind of funny because the elephant is wearing a chef hat. So there's the eye, the trunk, the chef hat, and the ears are kind of up like Dumbo. Elephants are very smart creatures. They're one of the smartest creatures on Earth, and they have very advanced memories, and they're some of the Earth's most protective animals because they're very protective of their families, and they're extremely smart, and they're extremely empathetic. The chef hat, again, in terms of creation, making things, sharing your creations with others. If you like to cook or bake, that could be a relevancy for you. Or if you're someone who's like head of the family or takes care of your family, could be blood or otherwise. or someone who's a caretaker to your loved ones. Yeah, this month there's a lot of themes for you about sharing your creations and also being very caring and sharing out of care for your loved ones or fellow humans. I'm also seeing, like, again, some dark creatures like the imps or goblins, or also dragons, some feared type of mythological creatures. Doesn't mean anything necessarily negative, but it can speak on potential underlying chaos in areas. It could be chaos in connections with others, general chaos in your life, chaos internally. There's some play of chaos, and again, chaos isn't inherently negative. Chaos can be used for beneficial things, but it can also be used for non-beneficial things. It all depends on how you navigate it. I see an angel. These are the wings, and the hands are praying. Like, either, this could be two things, or actually three. This could be three things. Either you're someone who works with the archangels or is religious in nature, and you are praying, and this is confirmation, if that's you, this is confirmation that your prayers are being received and currently being processed. Or if you have recently lost a loved one, or there's a significance between you and a past loved one in the present moment, this is a message that they're looking down and they're looking out for you, and they're aiding you in what it is that you're dealing with at the present moment. And it could also be a message in general that you're divinely protected and being looked over, and so that you don't need to stress about all this chaos that's happening, because I feel very much that this chaos is very much to help you in a way. Even if it feels really unstable and spooky, it is going to help you along. I see the word smoke. Maybe things have gone up in smoke as of lately, or you're worried about things going up in smoke. And again, it kind of ties into that duality with chaos, because sometimes when things don't work out, not saying it's not going to work out, but if you've experienced a lot of things not working out, secretly, it's hard to view it as this sometimes, but it's a blessing in disguise. And if something doesn't work out, it doesn't mean it means that it wasn't meant to work out, and because that thing didn't work out, it opened up more doors of opportunity for you to explore so that you can be successful in other areas that may be of more importance at that time in your life. Smoke, another thing that could resemble smoke is cleansing and clearing. If you use incense, herb bundles, candles, if you use smoke in that way, make sure to cleanse your energy to help stabilize that chaotic energy a little bit, so that it's more malleable and easier to use for you, and also to help bring down the anxiety around it as well. And before I move on that, for your pile number 2, we have fairy stone. And if there's anything we know about the fae, wink wink, wink. I forgot I had that toggle until now. Anyways, fairies are very known to be very tapped into that chaotic energy. They're very mischievous and silly, and sometimes will do things as guides in order to bring about some chaos, some change into your life that is necessary. And you're being called to very much align with that chaos and go with the flow of it, even though it's unpredictable and it puts you in a vulnerable state. There's nothing bad or irreversible that can come out of it. Okay, I see two things. I see either a clown or a cartoony looking dog. You may want to tap into your inner child again. That's very resonating with the fae, because they're very much attuned to and align with themes of the inner child. So connecting with your inner child, watching your favorite cartoons, or watching silly performances, comedy acts. Ooh, and then I see another dog, but it's like kind of snarling, and it's kind of a little bit scary looking. There's so much duality in this, because there's the fun cartoony dog, and then there's the angry snarling dog. Both of these archetypes in dogs are needed, just as multiple archetypes of humans and situations are needed in order to help us navigate and balance and understand our experience. In general, pile number 2, this month is going to be very up and down for you, and it's going to be something that is going to be very interesting to navigate. But you will, and you will succeed. You'll be okay. It keeps warning you over and over. Just by the way, things are going to be a little bit crazy, but it's for you! Surprise! I see like a pie chart of kinds. It could be a pie chart, or it could be... I also see like a pentacle. So making sure, again, that you have balance, that you maintain your own balance during this chaotic time. It also reminded me of Trivial Pursuit. Maybe if you have friends or family over, you might want to hunker down for a game of Trivial Pursuit. I don't know if that's relevant for some of you guys. But, and then some of you delve into themes of spirituality and paganism, and if that describes you, definitely it's going to be very prevalent this month, especially with your workings, and if you worship deities or you work with spirit guides, that's going to be very prevalent for you as well, because they're going to be mixing the pot a little bit. And by little bit, I kind of mean a lot of it. Okay, with all that being said, let's move on to your cards to get some more information about your May. So we have, the Three of Wands. It's very pretty. There's some stargazing. Is that a dog? Maybe you have a dog. If pile number 2, if you have a dog, they could be also kind of helping you through this chaotic time. They may be a chaotic individual themselves, and definitely tap into their playful and fun energy. We have the Ten of Wands, Labor of Love, the Eight of Pentacles, more labor. Ooh, Pixie Helpers in Green Aventurine, no freaking way. Okay. And remember who you are. Pile number 2, you might want to check out pile number 1. If you resonate with this card in particular, remember who you are, it's very significant for you. Definitely go and check out pile number 1. Alright. Ooh, I'm getting excited. This is very exciting. And I'm excited for you, pile number 2. And it's exciting because there's a lot of changes and shifts on the horizon, and there's a lot of expansive energy that's going on in your life in May, and there's a lot of opportunities that are opening up to you to find kind of a, not find, but like cultivate or enact on your purpose, your deep soul purpose, and to work hard towards the things that you're passionate about and the things that you love. So starting off with the Three of Wands with your challenge. Again, we're talking about looking to the horizons of a new beginning. There's kind of a chapter in your life that's pretty much ended, and you're kind of entering a new chapter where it's like, whoa, all of these things are happening. It's like when you watch a show or you read a book and it's this fantastical story and there's so many things happening and you have to learn so many new characters. You're like, whoa! That's kind of the energy I feel from this. but you're just kind of challenged to not get wrapped up so much in the initial surprise of the shift and the worry about the shift, and just to observe it and accept it for how it is. You know, when we're looking afar at a comet in space, it's very beautiful, it's sparkly, it's cool, but if we were right beside that comet in space, you know, it's hot, it's fast, it's a burning fury, and that would be very anxiety-inducing and survival instincts-inducing if we were right beside the comet, which is why it's important that when you're in these chaotic, crazy situations, you need to take a step back and look at it from afar so you can see it for how it truly is and accept it and be enamored with it and be like, oh my god, there's so many ideas and things that I could do with what I've observed of this situation. And that's what you're being challenged to do this month, pile number 1. For the positive influence of your May, pile number 1, we have, pile number 2. I keep getting you and pile number 1 mixed up, probably because you guys are very similar. 10 of Wands for the positive influence. Again, like I said, there's going to be opportunities. It's very much connects with the whole thing with the elephant and the chef hat. Opportunities for you to enact on labors of love, doing things for your community, doing things for your loved ones, making sure that everyone is stable, making sure everyone is fed, making sure that everyone, and you know, this also includes yourself, make sure everyone is as stable and fulfilled as possible in terms of your love connections and your gratitude and your efforts to maintain and to make sure that everyone is hunky-dory. Putting in a community effort in order to maintain prosperity and to maintain a fulfillment for the collective. Again, I got taken back to that aspect I said about you have something to share with others, whether that be a message or some sort of piece of care that you are going to share with others. And I don't feel it's just one person, I feel it's a group or a collective of kinds. And it's very important that you enact on that. Obviously, make sure you balance yourself and make sure that you are taken care of and you get the adequate rest that you need in order to carry out this pursuit. Again, the word pursuit, Trivial Pursuit. I don't... maybe play some Trivial Pursuit again. But, yeah, that's the positive influence over your May. Just taking care of others and building on the stability and the fruitfulness, pun intended, of your community and your loved ones. And then with the negative influence, with the Eight of Pentacles, as much as you love taking care and making sure that everybody is loved and cared for in your community and putting in effort in order to help everyone, again, like I said, it's very draining and it's very important that you balance that, and that's going to be hard for you to do, because this community, it also feeds you too, right? We have I'm just going to call him a farmer. We have a farmer here, and we see here with the coins, he's been paid to make these horseshoes, and you know, all he's doing is just he keeps making these horseshoes, and it's very draining on him. The sun is setting, he's had a full hard day of work, and just kind of the burden of that and working so hard on a consistent in order to reach others and to help others, it's like I said, it's pretty draining on you, and it's going to be a challenge for you to navigate how much energy should go into that and how much energy you need to save for yourself, and how to navigate and balance that while also remaining consistent and holding up to your responsibilities in that area or field. For opportunities that you need to take this month, pile number 2, we have Pixie Helpers and Green Aventurine. Not all wanderers are lost. clearing the way, luck, and opportunity. In each of these photos here, it shows a landscape with a very broad and significant horizon and skyline. You don't have to stay in the chaos like we said. When we're looking at a comet, it's very much nicer to look at it from a distance than to be directly next to the heat. And you're more free than you perceive that you are. Like, yes, you have these responsibilities. Yes, you have to do things, and you feel the need to care for your community, which is fantastic. But again, don't constrain yourself trying to meet up to unrealistic expectations for yourself. And also, there's other ways than what you're currently doing that will feed and nourish your community. You don't have to do the whole 9 yards, breaking your back for them. As much as you get gratitude and you gain from it, it's not necessary. You need to divvy up your time. So maybe if there's hard work you have to do, maybe make that portion of hard work smaller than the rest of the work that you put in. It's always best, no matter what kind of field you're working in, whether that be professionally or as a hobby or whatever it is that you're doing, it's always better to be consistent with low effort exports. So, for example, with content creation, like, yes, there's people that pay people to be in their videos. There's people that pay people to edit their videos and to make them the biggest and most exciting, and they put every ounce of their soul into these videos in order to get acclaim from their community. However, that's not always necessary. It's nice to do every now and again if you have that opportunity and those resources, but that's not something that you need to do, and no one is expecting you to go that far and beyond for them. Make sure that you tone it down and to balance out those low energy efforts. So again, with the example of content creation, yes, every once in a while you put out those big, huge videos that took a lot of effort and a lot of resources, but in between those big, huge advancements, also making those small posts, maybe even just a sentence of, something you find funny, or something that's been going on, or something that's relatable, whatever. And that will still feed that content creation community. And again, the content, you don't have to be a content creator, but that's just the closest example that I could relate to and exemplify of the situation. As well as there's so much luck around you this month, pile number 2, and you need to trust in that luck and to kind of explore beyond what you've already been doing, because you can never know what you find. And in those things that you find, those little things that aid you along the way, those little things that you can use to benefit your community and benefit your situation, are going to be huge for you. It's the little things that count. And last but not least, we have what you need to take time for this month, pile number 2. Remember who you are, Archangel Michael. You are a powerful, loving, and creative child of God. You are very loved. With this card, it's pretty straightforward. You are a very powerful and very important person in a lot of people's lives, whether you recognize it or not. And just like what I said about having these small things that you can do to benefit your community that doesn't take up a lot of energy, it's still going to be hugely important to them and hugely important to you in your discovery of how to navigate these situations within yourself, and to strengthen yourself, strengthen your ideas, strengthen your intuition, and strengthen your ability to navigate and to think of new ideas. What's that word? Innovate. to innovate through whatever you are working on. And again, it speaks to that divine protection, that you're being guided, and that during this chaos, you are meant to deal with this. You have connections to the chaos, you have connections to the divine, you have connections to the fae, and you need to take advantage of that to give your guides, to give God, your fairy helpers, pixie helpers, your gratitude as they help you navigate through this time, and to give yourself gratitude as well. Like, hey, I've been working so damn hard, making so much progress, and I need to, slow down, take some time for me, indulge in my inner child, and to use that in order to fuel myself to go forward. Spend time with your loved ones, spend time with your pets, spend time connecting with your inner child. That's what you need to take time for. When we connect with our inner child has the most pure basis of who we are as a person kind of forming and creating in their mind. And through our experiences in the world, mostly negative, unfortunately, sometimes it can suppress who we truly are and make us more focused on, our first world responsibilities of working and growing our family and making money and things of that nature. When there's so much more to you as a person, so much more to your worth as a person than what is seen materially. And you need to remember that. And one of the most significant ways to do that is to connect with your inner child and find the concrete aspects of who you are and what makes you unique and important. That's it. That's on a non-material basis. I say this all the time, but I'll say it to you, pile number 2. You are not a human doing, you are a human being, so just be. And that's all you need to be. To be or not to be? That is the question. Remember who you are, and that is your May, pile number 2. I hope this resonated, and I hope it was helpful for your journey during May, and I hope your May is amazing. See you next time. Hello, pile number 3, and welcome to your pile. Before we start into the cards, we're going to do some pen scrying. I'm going to scribble intuitively and derive whatever messages come through the scribbles. See what we got going for you, pile number 3. I see things of hearts and like Cupid type imagery. There's a heart right there. There's a heart over here. I'm seeing like general, like kind of like angelic kind of figuration. This month for you, pile number 2, may be full of a lot of themes of love and compassion, love and compassion for yourself, self-care, love and compassion within the community of your loved ones, family, chosen family, whatever that could look like for you. I see also like tulips or irises or other kinds of spring flowers. This is a new beginning for you this May. And you need to take advantage of this energy of new beginnings and a fresh start. There's new things blooming in your life in one way or another. I'm also seeing some reptilian creatures. I see like a dinosaur Nessie, I see a turtle, and a snail. Snails and turtles are kind of one and the same in terms of symbolism, in which it's, the classic tale of slow and steady wins the race. And even though this new beginning is exciting and there's new things happening, lots of things growing. Unfortunately, things in nature take time to grow and to develop, and that's very much going to be a big theme for you in May and in this new beginning for you. With Nessie, a lot of the times I associate Nessie with like being misunderstood or not seeing things for how they truly are, because a lot of people have seen Nessie in the waters, and sometimes it would be a whale penis or a driftwood that looked strange in the water. It's kind of a double-sided message where it's like, don't overlook things or think you already know how things are without fully experiencing or knowing all of the depths of it, but also don't underestimate yourself as well, and don't underestimate the situations and the opportunities that are opening up to you, because they are grand and extravagant. And you are grand and extravagant as well. I see themes of like life and death. This shape here kind of reminds me of like a fetus, and I'm seeing some like skulls in here as well. There's something ending right now. There's something ending in your life in order to birth this new phase. There's things about the identity and the way things take shape. You're growing as a person this May and this spring in general. Pile number 3. And in order for new beginnings to become, there's also themes of things that need to end. Things that aren't serving you anymore. A story that's been completed, that there's nothing else to gain from it, which can be distressing and painful at times, but it is for your greatest good. I see a lot of figures and faces pointing to the right, but these figures and faces don't seem like very benevolent. They seem a bit ego infested and opinionated in a way. It's like challenging you not to go with the societal norms. You are meant to be your unique individual and not follow the status quo. And I feel like there's a lot of people around you or in your work or just in life that you deal with in general who are either politically, they are very right-winged people, or they very strictly follow, the status quo of society. And that's not something that is super inviting to you. You prefer to stick by your own rules and your own rights. Yeah, I see a face kind of at peace, and on their lonesome, kind of bathing in and enjoying the choices that they made. I see like a sprig of a fern kind of coiled up here, and there's those types of ferns where like when I think they react either to sunlight or like dewdrops, I'm not really sure, but they start coiled, and then when the sun or the dew hits, they unfurl their leaves. You may want to spend time meditating or sunbathing, taking in the freshness of mornings. Mornings feel like they're kind of important to you. How you start your day, refreshing and taking care of your needs, and infusing your mornings with self-care and gratitude for your day, for your life, for the things around you, and things of that nature. I see like a mushroom type figure. The stem is here and then the cap is right here, if you can see that. There's a lot of themes of connecting with nature and a lot of plant figures. You may want to delve into learning about mushrooms and the way that they grow and how they communicate, and even metaphysical meanings and lore around mushrooms. It may be, you may resonate with it and it may be interesting to you. I'm seeing a lot of like polka dots and like silly kind of whimsical figures, kind of being eccentric and being in flow with everything that's going on around you, but also most importantly being in flow with yourself and the things that you align with and the things that resonate with you. Now with that out of the way, let's get into your cards, pile number 3. We have the King of Pentacles, the Ace of Pentacles. See, what did I tell you about that new beginning, that growth? Seven of Swords, Grandmother Moonstone, Cycles of Change, and creative writing, Archangel Gabriel. Make time to write down your thoughts in a journal or pen in an oracle book. That's extremely interesting, and I'll tell you why momentarily. It's interesting because the first card for you, pile number 3, represents your challenge this month in May. And it seems you're being challenged to hone in stability and patience in order to grow your capital, to grow whether that be finance or just general dependence and stability of the self. I think we'll get some clues in the Seven of Swords as to why that's a challenge for you this month. Because it feels uncommon that would be a challenge for you, because you do seem like a fairly down-to-earth person and someone who's very aware of the things that are going around them. But the Ace of Pentacles represents the positive influence in your month of May. Again, new beginnings all around. Ace of Pentacles is 100% new beginnings, new opportunities, promise of prosperity type themes. There's not much I have to say on that. It's pretty straightforward, especially with the context with the pen scrying. And then the negative influence over your month of May with the Seven of Swords. Now, I feel like there is either a person or perhaps a group of people or some sort of scenario that you're dealing with where people are being untruthful, scheming. This could be corporate schemes. This could be people lying. This could be people cheating, and whatever type of mischievous activity it is that involves that lying. It is hurtful, and it is stress-inducing, especially because it threatens your feelings of inner stability, which is why the stability is a challenge for you. And we go back to that theme of not aligning with the status quo or not aligning with the other people around you, because you need to stay strong to your uniqueness and your values and beliefs. And that's why this is a challenge for you, because in order to deal with these types of situations, oftentimes people are coerced into mirroring those people's behaviors as a survival instinct. And I need to tell you right now that that is not necessary. They can't be a threat to you if you're strong and secure in yourself. I'm sorry that you have to deal with these types of individuals and groups, but as long as you stay true to yourself and remind yourself that you are in fact stable as your own person, capable of taking action in order to do whatever it is that you need to do in life, you don't have to pay these people any mind. Yes, it sucks that you have to observe their behavior and know what they're doing and what they're scheming, but you will remain victorious as long as you keep focused on yourself and what you need to do in your journey. Which brings us to opportunities to take this month for you, pile number 3. We have Grandmother Moonstone, Cycles of Change, Illuminating Boundaries, New Beginnings. Yeah, boundaries. Make sure you do not have to deal with these individuals' shenanigans, and make sure that when you feel coerced or being pressured into doing something to appease another or to meet up to some sort of societal standard of kinds, to not fall for that bullshit. Make sure that you are staying true to yourself by remaining boundaries. Boundaries is what keeps us safe. It's what keeps us stable. Now, there's a difference between a wall and a boundary. A wall blocks us from opportunities and blocks us from exploration and learning from our experience. However, boundaries help us navigate our experience while having protection so that we can explore freely and do things freely without the threat of our stability being knocked off or having our stability discombobulated. Because yes, you are meant to adventure, you are meant to take opportunities and take risks and do things that are important to you, but wearing that armor and having those boundaries so that these shitty situations and individuals don't get under your skin and don't influence you to taking a path that isn't true to you. If you are a creative individual and if you're into creative writing specifically, you may know that there is trends and there's things that you need to keep in mind as a creative because when you want to get your name out there, you have to relate to the people in some way. You have to make your expression relatable or something that's eye-catching, and you have to kind of, not only do you have to mesh your passion into it, talking from a business standpoint, but you also have to keep in mind who your audience is at the same time. You just have to be careful when you are creating, not to focus too hard on the whole thing with appeasing others and meshing well in with the media. There's a lot of content creators and creators in general who are bridging off from the algorithm, trying to still atone to their unique state of being, their unique expression outside of the binds of the algorithm. This kind of falls into the scheming people as well, people who only want what's hot and business. There's a lot of themes of business or societal status quo in order to appease, but that isn't for you. What's for you is expanding beyond that and creating a mesh of your own unique expression. If you aren't a creative individual, or no, I shouldn't say that. If you aren't someone who delves in the arts such as writing or artistry or things of that nature, you express in a different way. No matter which way you express yourself in, whether it's in art or otherwise, you need to stay true to that self-expression. Make time, and it's funny because this creative writing card expresses in the spread what you need to take time for in May, pile number 3. Make time to write down your thoughts in a journal or pen, an article or book. Your worldview is important, and the way that you express yourself is important, not only to you, because when we don't express ourselves, it creates depression. Expression is the opposite of depression, and vice versa. If you don't express yourself, you depress yourself. So always make sure that you're expressing yourself to your truest capability, expressing yourself unapologetically. And whenever you have an idea or a thought to express that you may not be able to express out loud because of your societal situation, or you just want to take a mental note of it, make sure to write it down digitally or physically. And it's important because it helps you express and to explore that side of yourself, but also you may get ideas from the things that you write and be like, oh, I could market that, or oh, I should share that idea with some others. And this was your reading for May, pile number 3. I hope it resonated, and I hope your May is amazing. I'll see you next time. Hello, pile number 4. Welcome to your pile. Before we get into your cards, we are going to do a pen scrying reading just to get a general idea of what's going to be happening in your month of May and themes surrounding your month. And after that, we will get into the cards. While I was doing the scrying, a song played in my head. I can't remember. It's the one that's like, wake me up when September ends. That specific bar was playing in my head. There's a lot of sharp imagery here. I see kind of like a gnashing figure. It kind of looks like a xenomorph. Could be a lot of chaos and intensity in your situation at the moment. I see like a figure screaming out. It could be in anger or in pain. There's just been a lot of heavy situations that you've been dealing with, and just kind of that need to express that frustration vocally. I also see a butterfly. Things are transforming, things are shifting. You know, they say all the time in a lot of spiritual themes, and it's true in all things in nature, but suffering isn't forever. It's for one thing to happen consistently would go against the laws of nature. Things are bound to change. Suffering is temporary. And it's very important that you keep that in mind while you're going through these difficult times. I see a figure here, and he's got like some kind of mouth guard. It feels like your expression has been limited or suffocated. This could be due to your current situation of where you work or where you live. It could be from your past of not being treated well when you were expressing yourself. You could have been bullied or other things where your expression has been suppressed. Perhaps you mask a lot in social situations where you don't reveal your true personality to a lot of people or in your situation. I'm also seeing like kind of images of Trojan warriors or imagery of Athena and things of that nature. Very warrior-esque imagery, kind of a message that you have the power to fight through this, and that you have values to stand up for, and you need to stand up for yourself. I see like a child kind of rocking back and forth by itself in a corner. Perhaps you may have been kind of isolated from your community, or you had a lot of time alone, whether that was physically or you just felt very alone in your situation. I see a heart here. And there's like a very fancy like bird here. It has very fluffy hair and a sharp beak. Or this could be also a masculine figure, someone who has very fluffy hair, a sharp pointy nose, and a very sharp kind of jawline. If this is anyone that describes anyone that you know in real life, this could be significant. Kind of reminds me of, this is probably really vague, but it reminds me of that rooster in Looney Tunes. The one who's very gusto, and I think he's in the cartoons with his name's Sylvester Cat and Tweety Bird. I think that's the cartoon he's from, but he reminds me of that. There's a lot of themes of like fire and heart. Use the frustration and use that pent up expression to your advantage, especially this month, pile number 4, because it's very important that those expressions come out and that you use them in order to either motivate yourself or to strengthen yourself in order to deal with the situations at hand. You need to have your own back. This doesn't mean you need to deal with this alone, but it's very important that you stay strong about your story and the things that you want to create in your journey. I keep seeing this figure of a man with very structured poofy hair and a very, very sharp nose, no matter which way I turn the page. I see like a princess falling, like her dress dragging behind her as she's falling quite a decent ways. It's kind of like very much a tower energy. She's leaping from the tower like not waiting for any prince to save her, or just be like, I'm fucking sick of being stuck like this, and I'm just gonna go for it. A lot of themes of self-preservation and nurturing the self and block of self-expression. Let's get some more information on that. We have the Eight of Swords. Again, representing that stuckness. The Ace of Wands. The Queen of Wands. Mama Cacao and Rhodonite, heart opening. And Chakra Clearing, Archangel Metatron. Geometric shapes. Interesting. Okay. So, starting with the Eight of Swords, pile number 4, this represents the challenge for your May. As we stated before, you're feeling a bit stuck in terms of your self-expression, and you feel like in where you are, whether that be at home, your occupation, just the people you're surrounded with, you don't feel free, and you don't feel free enough to express yourself and to be yourself. I'm not sure if there is a motherly figure in your life. It doesn't have to be a literal mom or even a woman at all. Just someone who you feel very nurtured by. It can be someone you know in real life. It could be a celebrity who you feel comforted by, or a character. Just whoever that figure is for you in your life. Make sure to follow them and follow their example in order to help free yourself. And unfortunate enough, even if you have resources and other people helping you and aiding you and bringing you comfort, the only thing that's going to get you out of that stuck place is you. We have here the sick child. And, you know, the motherly figure is taking care of the sick child, you know, and the motherly figure is doing what she has to try to help the child, you know, placing a cool cloth on their head, giving them medicines and food to help them fight the virus in their body. But the real thing that actually fights the virus is the child's body itself, indicating that even if you're struggling, whether that be with sickness or just a situational thing, or you're struggling to express yourself, or you feel stuck, you have the power to get yourself out of that situation. Yes, it's going to take time, and yes, it could be very much painstaking for you to do so, but you are capable of it. And that's your challenge this May, of getting yourself unstuck, of healing yourself, especially in the heart area. For the positive influence for your May, pile number 4, we have the Ace of Wands, which shows the maypole, which is very beautiful and very on brand for today's pick-a-pile reading. Again, new beginnings, new passions erupting through your heart. That imagery of that shouting, screaming figure. Maybe you like metal or rock songs or angry songs, or maybe you want to be a rock or metal artist yourself, or maybe you like slam poetry. Other forms of really powerful self-expression through the vocal cords. You may want to practice that, or join a group that does those types of things. Whatever self-expression resonates with you in a way that helps you not only rebuild the confidence of your self-expression and the power of your self-expression, but helps you get it out when it was previously suppressed. And we have the Queen of Wands for the negative influence over your May, pile number 4. Another thing about this nurturing motherly figure that we've mentioned, it doesn't necessarily even have to be a figure or a person externally from yourself. It could also be an aspect of yourself, because everyone has divine and masculine feminine and masculine divinity within themselves. That's the yin and yang. That's how we balance ourselves. And you're going to want to tap in again, I forgot about this. The mama cacao. Not only is the advice for you to connect with or tap into those figures of nurturing motherly essence, but also to find that within yourself in order to guide you and to help you through these difficult times. I just want to point out, again, with honey calcite, it's called that because it looks like a chunk of honey. It looks like you could eat it. But also it's, you know, honey is sweet. Honey is one of nature's most natural healers. And it's full of prosperity and speaks of joy. Much like the Ace of Wands type energy. And yeah, this May for you, pile number 4, is a lot about your healing, the healing of your heart, and strengthening of the self and strengthening of your own passions and the way that you express yourself in the world, and nurturing yourself out of those traumas or pains that you've experienced. With the negative influence being the Queen of Wands, it could be your struggle to align with that nurturing archetype, whether it's a person externally or that part within you, which is why it's very important that you connect with the heart chakra or the heart center in order to help you to heal and to find nurturing within yourself. Perhaps you have a mother wound. You have a difficult connection with your mother in one way or another, or there's been feminine figures that have not been good to you. It doesn't have to be that. It can also be things like just lack of nurturing in certain areas of your life. It doesn't have to be exactly person directed. But that's kind of the struggle that's indicated in your month of May, pile number 4. Now, opportunities to take this month, represented by Mama Cacao and Rhodonite, heart opening, heightened sensitivity, unifying, high on love. I feel like a lot of the times you try to play tough. And it's not that like you're like macho. It's more like you don't want to be vulnerable because you don't want to get hurt. You're afraid of getting hurt. You're afraid of being brought lower than you already are. There's a song by Bebe Rexha called Break My Heart. She says, I don't need your help. I can break my heart myself. And that's kind of the vibe that I'm getting from this. And it's kind of time to tap in to that vulnerability of sensitivity and intense emotions. It doesn't have to be like intense per se, but like, you know, when you have that much expression and emotion kind of bottled up from years of not feeling safe or open to express yourself, it can be quite intense when it's releasing. And you need to take this opportunity because you're being, like I said, there's groups or situations that you're being given this month where you are given the opportunity to express yourself without judgment and to heal those deep heart wounds. And it's important that you remind yourself of your power and that you remind yourself that, you know, these people or situations that you encountered where you weren't able to express yourself, that's not how things normally are. You unfortunately experienced these situations, and I don't want to say you weren't meant to, because, you know, part of me, I believe in destiny, and sometimes we go through these things in order to strengthen and part of myself. Now, that being said, I don't believe trauma gives you strength. I think that's full of shit. And that's totally not what I'm saying here. But what I'm saying is that use that hurt. Like we said before, you need to use that hurt, that dampening of your expression in order to strengthen it and release it for ultimate heart healing. Take advantage of the shitty cards that you were given, essentially. Not that these cards are shitty, this is actually pretty good. But I just mean like situationally in your life. Take advantage of the experiences that you've had and use them to create a new for yourself, to create a healing path for yourself. And then we have what to take time for this month with chakra clearing. Archangel Metatron, call upon me to clear and open your chakras using sacred geometric shapes. I don't remember what this shape is called, but another geometric shape that I personally really like is the flower of life, which represents cycles and changing. I do believe there was a butterfly in the scribble. There is transformation happening in your life, but the main thing it's being guided by is you. If you resonate with the chakras, I definitely recommend heart chakra healing and, like the card said, full body chakra cleansing to release a lot of that stagnance and that tension and that fear. And what it will do is it will kind of sift through all of the stagnant energies in your energy field, and it will help you to create anew within yourself, to create new connections, to create new ideas and motivations in order to aid you in your healing process. And it can help in your journey of strengthening your sense of self and your sense of expression. If you're someone that does not resonate with chakras or doesn't work with the chakras, when you are feeling afraid, tense, angry, any of those really heavy emotions that tend to paralyze you, especially when it comes to your self-expression and fighting for what you believe in, there are so many different kinds of relaxation techniques that you can do. Breathing techniques, there's stretching, dancing, other forms of movement, because emotions don't like to be stagnant. They like to move around. If they don't have anywhere to go, they just build up until they go poof and they explode. And it doesn't feel good when that happens. So make sure that when you're feeling those tense emotions and feelings, that you do something to help it move around your body and to use it as energy to do something good, either for your body or a creative way of expressing or any kind of things like that. And also, I wanted to jump back to heightened sensitivity. Pile number 4. Use your intense feelings and emotions and really tap into your body using mindfulness and kind of locate physically where those emotions are lingering in your body, because they do have a presence in the body. For example, when I'm really anxious, a lot of my anxiety forms in my throat and in my back and shoulders. So I have a lot of tensity in my throat and a lot of tensity in my back and shoulders, which can literally create knots and injury for myself if I'm getting really anxious, or if I'm anxious for a prolonged period of time. Those types of tensities are not good for the body, mind, or anything of the human experience. So that's why it's important to work them out and to let them flow. Use that sensitivity in order to shift that energy. And yeah, it's gonna feel really vulnerable and spooky at first. And I relate to this in my journey as well. I struggled with depression for a number of years. I still do, but it was much worse back in the heyday. And through these mindfulness techniques and energy techniques of moving the energy throughout my body and using my self-expression to help that energy expel itself and make it into something different, has been extraordinary, and it really helps filter your system, whether it's your mental, physical, or spiritual. Clear the stagnant out so that you can make a new beginning and to follow your passions. And one more thing. Vulnerability isn't something that you need to be afraid of. Vulnerability is a superpower. And as long as you are true to yourself and you stand up for your values and you stand up for your boundaries, you can be as vulnerable and open as you want and expressive as you want. Vulnerability is freedom. And it's something that your heart yearns for. It wants to be free, it wants to be expressive, So this May is a fantastic opportunity to explore that and to do heart opening, because you're being given these opportunities of freedom of expression. I hope your pile resonated well for you, pile number 4, and I hope your May is amazing, and I wish you all the best of luck. See you next time.